mean, if I come and I'm sitting down, I don't see Thomas Partey. My chest will fly. And another person, of course, Saka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to stay calm when he's not playing. I've never witnessed that. The whole of last season, he was there. So, and then, Saka, Martinelli, I would want to attach a fourth in there, Zinchenko, with the
Okay.
winning mentality. You saw what he did last season.
Transit TV, you're back again. My favorite partners in crime. It was a very important game yesterday at the Seychelles Park. Arsenal was away to Crystal Palace. Very crunchy game. I don't know why they always kind of put Crystal Palace as one of the first games for Arsenal going into the season. This one again came with a lot of hype. Of course, we know it's a London derby. It was a very crunchy one, and I'm very eventful as well. There's so much to unpack and talk about that game. So with me to do that today is Chioma and Ugum, our usual fellow panelists on this show. If you're a regular here, so we're going to spend some time, a few minutes, to look at that game, in depthly, and try to make sense of few things that happened in the game. Guys, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Reggie. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here again with Chioma. Just have fun discussing Arsenal and analyzing our game against Crystal Palace. Please, if you're listening to this, kindly subscribe if you haven't. Please share the page, the channel with your friends and relations, and if possible, share with your enemies as well. Tell them to subscribe.
Yeah. Chioma, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Reggie. It's an honor to be here again. I'm excited seeing that I'm recovering from I almost had a serious palpitation yesterday watching the game. Unlike me, I was so quiet. They didn't give me time to scream, but I'm excited that, we got 3 points. Thank you, Goom, for coming through, always making the room worth the stay. And if you haven't subscribed, you better listen to Gumo. Seriously. So listen to him, subscribe, and let's get this going.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Chioma. You've been missing in action for a little bit now, for a couple of weeks. I know it's not really your fault because of the time difference. Trying to get your banter friends on the show, their time, and it's been difficult. What have you been up to? Been doing good?
Yeah, it's been beautiful. I've been trying to, follow up, like you mentioned, my banter friends, shouting out to Chima, wherever he is. He should be at work. Tell him that, I'm really, really going to make it one of these days, and he better should have something for me. He needs to have a win for me or something. He should get me a striker or someone I can,
Chima too. I've been looking forward to having you on the show. He's missed the banter too between the two of you. You've been telling me to try and make it work. Yesterday we were really waiting on you for the weekend roundup, but unfortunately you couldn't make it. But I'm sure by this week, somehow we're going to transit has to make it happen. The fans are also looking forward to it. Okay, so let's go. Like Ugum said, viewers, if you're not subscribed yet, please don't get carried away watching us and enjoying our show. Try and hit the subscription button and like as well. Get busy in the comment section. We want to also interact. We want to also see or hear what you think about our opinions on these games and the things we'll talk about. This football is a beautiful game. It's a perspective game. We all see it from different dimensions and different perspectives, and we'll watch the game. So we also want to see and understand what our fans and our viewers, how they feel about these games. Because if the opinion is contrary to what we're saying here, we want to hear you and also suggest to us other things you want us to we would like us to also do in the channel. That would be very important. It's very important to us. So we're looking forward to hearing and reading the comments on the comment section. So we start. This one was a very, of course, anytime Arsenal has a very good winning record against Crystal Palace, but still somehow, whenever this game comes up, especially at the Selhurst Park, it always comes with some kind of anxiety, especially towards Arsenal fans. There's always this feeling that it might not go well. End of the day, Arsenal still manages to win this game, but next time it still comes up, there's always this tension in the air that we'll have to be on it to be able to get the 3 points. And this exactly was what happened yesterday. And Crystal Palace, Arsenal ran away with a 1-0 win. Of course, 3 points in the bag again, second time in the season. So let me ask you, Chuma, when the lineup came out yesterday, what was your initial reaction, looking at the absentees from the usual lineup that when the second time Gabriel was missing in action, Partey was playing from the right side of the defense. So what was your initial reaction? What do you think Arteta was thinking about?
Well, my initial reaction, it was different. I was like, okay, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Because I spent some quality time on the X street. X used to be Twitter, now it's X. So there you can get like the raw reactions of very, fanatic people. So the Arsenal fans were already voting Trossard to start ahead of Kai. Okay, so there were just a lot of things we didn't expect. Playing Partey from that position isn't something most Arsenal fans are comfortable with. But personally, I always have this confidence in Mikel because I feel he's the one in the dressing room. He's the one seeing the works and everything. He's the one designing the playbook. I may have, positions I want the guys to play, but what if it won't work? And I hear we have this thing with Monday Night Football. Ugum, I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
These guys were all over the whole
They say under the light.
Yeah, it doesn't work for Arsenal. How Mikel just broke a so, but it was a different thing. Formation was different. I was that tense watching Arsenal game yesterday. I enjoyed being that tense.
Okay. Did you have any reaction? What was your initial? How did you react to the lineup when you saw it before the game?
When I saw it, first that I noticed was Gabriel missing. And when I discovered that Gabriel was missing, my heart sank. My heart sank being that I was scared for the manager. The manager up until now still polarizes to an extent. Some people just don't like him. And what he did in the first game, as much as there was a win, worked a bit, but wasn't convincing. And so I had overheard some, compounding some Arsenal fans already saying that he dare not start that kind of lineup again, right? So when I saw him start the same lineup with Gabriel missing, I was a bit disturbed, but immediately I have decided to trust the manager myself. And I may have issues with a few things, but generally I find my peace in knowing that he knows what he's doing and he wants to win. So I was like, okay, if that's the way he set the team up, I'll get behind the team. And that's what I did for the game.
Yeah, for me personally, I was shocked. Like, what's going on here? Obviously, having followed Arsenal since Mikel joined, I've been closely monitoring what his progress and what he's been doing with the team and his attitude and behavior. I wasn't shocked that Kai Havertz started the game. I knew he was going to start him. Teta is going to stick by him, give him his run in the team until if it doesn't work, then he knows he's tried. That's the way he operates. Just like when he came as well, Pepe got his chance until he lost faith in Pepe and moved on with different players. But the one that really got me was Gabriel, like you guys have mentioned. I didn't. What I felt wasn't more of Mikel not using him, but I was thinking, I hope these rumors about this guy leaving us now are not true, because this is a bad time to lose Gabriel right now. The season's almost, the transfer window is almost going to be short. If you sell him now, how are we going to replace him? And already we're short with Timber not being injured for almost all the season. So that was the first place my mind went to. But now I said, no, Arsenal would be stupid to let Gabriel go at this time. It's but man, my mind was, if the Saudis come with 100 million or 120, who is even going to tempt to let him go? So that was where my mind was good. It wasn't more of Mikel benching him. I was thinking more of maybe there is something about this rumor for Gabriel leaving the club. Then Partey playing for the right back. Yeah, that was the one that I couldn't really wrap my head around. But what I also told myself, okay, Partey has the ability to invert. Apparently, he wants to, like he did against Nottingham Forest. Somebody started at the right back, but he played mostly as the DM while Declan Rice pushed forward. So I said, okay, maybe that's what he's trying to do again in this game. So and like you said, you guys have said as well. At this point, there's nothing we can do other than to support Mikel, try to understand what he's doing. I mean, the young man has made a lot of progress with the team since he joined. So why do we have to now jump at his back at any little thing that we don't understand, the rationale behind? I think you should just support the team. Then if it doesn't work, we can now critique it. Like for me, I have a little criticism about that formation. But again, let's not forget that Zinchenko is injured. He's injured. So we can't really, the only one I don't understand too is Quintini. It looks clearly that the young man is going to leave Arsenal, but I don't understand why he doesn't start game being a left-footed defender. So that was my initial reaction. At the end of the day, just like you guys, I just decided to just trust the manager and see what's going on. Another thing is, last season, Mikel was accused of not making use of his squad. He just, stuck with just a few members of the squad. Now this season, he's trying to get everybody in the mix, and we are also criticizing him. So I don't understand, because if these guys don't get used to what's going on now, is it when the crunchy time starts that everybody is fired? Is it when you're going to start making the changes? So apparently he's also trying to see other options that Arsenal can have if we were to have injuries or suspensions or stuff like that. So that's how I left it. So let's move to Declan Rice. Ubum, talk us through what what you found out about Declan Rice yesterday. I think for me, yesterday was his full debut for Arsenal. He was yesterday that probably will caught a glimpse of the Declan Rice we signed and what to expect from him. So what was your assessment of his performance yesterday in regards to
what an impressive
key things that he did in the game, and that peculiarities that he has that we didn't have in the team before he arrived?
What an impressive signing! What an impressive man! Really impressive. Not just his field, his skills on the field. Watching him and his energy. I noticed Declan Rice initially when he was invited to the English national team. I thought, okay, this is one of these English boys, that have good images.
Good care.
They don't, they can't do no wrong with the press, right? Then I watched him play for England. How impressive this young man is, being able to get about the field. It's not that he pretty much glides all over the field. Shows up wherever action is. Never afraid to collect the ball. Never afraid to ask for the ball. Never afraid to use it, either by passing or by doing a long pass or by busting forward with the ball. And I noticed that he always has his head up. Good midfielders, that's how you know them. Your head has to be up so that you survey your surroundings before you get the ball, and after you get the ball, you've already made up your mind what to do with it. So watching him yesterday, I was like, man, we are in for a treat, right? We've got a guy here that shows up every time for the ball. He what impressed me again yesterday was his selection of long passes. You know, he switched play quite a few times from left to right, from right to left, of finding Saka quite a few times. And Saka just hogged his touchline most of the time because these guys compressed the middle, made it very difficult for the channels. You couldn't slip any ball through the channels. And we needed Saka from Martinelli to work. And you will see him go over there, help out Tomiyasu and Martinelli with defense,
Yeah.
then switch the ball to Saka, and then come over and still collect it. Now, his most impressive pass in the game was the pass he gave to Nketiah that Nketiah got one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I mean,
Yeah.
he could have shot that ball and scored. He was in a position to shoot that ball and score, but he just a little touch slipped. If that probably was done by a Brazilian or even Odegaard, we'll talk about that pass more than we're talking
Oh,
about Rice making
Nketiah
that
missing it.
pass. Than Nketiah missed. And if Nketiah probably had scored, yes, he would have gotten more credit for that pass. But Nketiah missing it just kind of dismissed the whole move. So yeah, let me just cut it short. I am highly impressed with Declan Rice. I'm happy we have him. If you listen to his interview after the game, you will see that the guy is comfortable, happy. He's saying that he's learned so much about playing in the midfield and playing positions. Ateta has told him he sees him as a number 8, sees him as a number 6, sees him everywhere. So
every
he has the world at his feet. I'm happy. He's going to be a future captain, maybe for us now, but definitely for England, he's going to be. But for us now, I say maybe because we've got a capable captain
The guy
and
is
he's not
there
going
for
anywhere
the guy
anytime
is not
soon.
going anywhere, bro.
Yeah,
So, do you
yeah.
have anything to add to that? What was it? Is there any impressions you had about the Rice that Gum has not mentioned?
well, I think Ugum got everything. The fact that I think he's the cleanup guy. That's the word I want to use for him. Because I remember how I was so excited about him coming. So people were thinking basically is the whole hype to him, Ugum mentioned, And I've never really like watched him play. It was in the whole gist of his coming to Arsenal. And then I watched their last game, the cup finals they did.
Yeah, the Conference League.
I took the Conference League. I took 90 something minutes and I sat down and watched him. He's just everything you want. He's just everything. He has that body language. There's this body language that exudes confidence. Now I'm talking like a girl. He exudes confidence in the way he carries the ball. And after the game, I looked at his stats. I went to live sports and I looked at his stats on Instagram. It's 90%, no foul. Someone manning the midfield like that and not getting, in trouble, and it's just beautiful. I don't think I have anything to say.
Say
Because
against him.
even Chelsea, Man U, for the first time in their lives, they believe that Declan Rice is a good deal.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. But one of the things that Declan Rice has shown that I didn't know about him before that really impresses me is the way he uses his body. He uses his body to dispossess opponent of possession of the ball. There's a way he gets into you in front of you and just glide away with the ball off your feet without committing any fouls. And like we mentioned, his availability is second to none. As in, like, anytime you need somebody to help you out with a difficult situation, Declan Rice he shows up and he easily takes charge of the territory and cleans up, like you said. He's a clean-up guy. I'm really happy that this again. There are some of the things that most times fans don't give Ateta and the Edu credit for. They hardly get any signing wrong. This is another win for them in the transfer market. based on what we have seen. I know many will say it's only 2 games, but I mean, is he going to all of a sudden turn to a different player after the 2 games? I believe we have got ourselves a very, very valuable jewel in our midfield, a player that is, and when he speaks good. It seems to. Another thing that has really impressed me about him is the way he has settled into the team. Yeah, credit to the team, probably the way they welcomed him. But again, it shows a lot about somebody that has a self-confidence. He has settled into the team. He already speaks like an Arsenal player already when he's in his interviews. So I'm glad that we signed him, and I believe that it's going to be a huge part of any success that Arsenal will achieve this season. So again, based on the changes that Arteta has made in the lineup, in our starting lineup this season so far, even in the preseason games, I don't know if you remember some of the episodes that we had in the past. I was talking about our fluidity. In the last 2 games, especially yesterday, I know Crystal Palace parked the balls, they allowed up possession, but there is something about our game compared to what we had last season that we don't have yet. I know we had just two games, but are you guys in any way worried about the way, the finesse that we had in our game last season? So far this season, we haven't managed to create that excitement for the fans to enjoy our game. Do you share this thought?
Yes, absolutely, yes. It worried me yesterday. It worried me against Nottingham Forest. Um, 2 things. Number one was this fluidity you're talking about, being able to dominate play. When I tuned into our game yesterday, they had played 3 minutes. And immediately I tuned in, the first thing I noticed after watching for 30 seconds was that our players seemed so slow. It seemed like they were playing in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why are we taking so long to move the ball from side to side? From the fluidity wasn't there at all. And I wondered what is going on with our team. The briskiness of our play wasn't there like it normally would be. Then I immediately we got that red card. We went defensive. We didn't even wait a second. Right? I felt that we had the players. We had dominated these guys at 70 something percent possession, going on 80, almost 80%. We were dominant against them prior to that red card. How come just by one red card we suddenly started playing a low block, right? I felt the switch to that low block was too abrupt and was too fast. We needed to hold on to position a bit more to make it work. But then, you see, immediately Zinchenko came in with Kivio and Jorginho. We started zipping the ball about like we normally did last season, right? That told me one thing. Told me how important Zinchenko is in that kind of play that we do, in the way that we played last season. How important Zinchenko was and is. I feel that Zinchenko coming back into our side will, improve our fluidity. I want to believe that. That's number one. But number two, on the other hand, I'm also looking at it and seeing now, do you want to be fluid and be open here and there with gaps here and there and not be utterly dominant? Or would you rather be a bit boring and be utterly dominant?
Get your 3 points, yeah.
And get your 3 points. At this point, I love wonderful football. I think we'll always play good football. But I'm willing to sacrifice
a little bit,
a little bit of that fluidity if we will win games and ultimately win the league. And so, yes, I'm good with it.
Okay, Choma, what's your impression about the lack of fluidity compared to what we did last season?
Ugun got me with the last part about he wants to sacrifice. Okay, because I want to believe that after every game. It's very common. I mean, I don't even need anybody to tell me that these guys have a long record of games they need to watch. Okay, people do it. There's always going to be evaluation and feedback. And if there's anything I've noticed this season, 2 games, we don't want to do the whole, Arsenal win now, share passes. People like me will just be shouting, what? I don't think they're about giving us that what anymore. If there's something I always think about, I'm like, these people are starting to realize that you don't have to be too entertaining to pick up your points where it matters. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Because Ugum just nailed it. You want to be very fluid and show us what you got. We know we're the masters of possession.
Position.
If we come at you, they make people see. Arsenal can take over your midfield. I'm being very boastful right now for like 13 minutes, and you will not see anything. But do we want to spend time doing that, and not get these points where they matter? Because I remember last season, yeah, we did what we had to do, all those shows. But when the points mattered, we were not bringing them home. And clubs like Crystal Palace, of course, you know how we always struggle with them. And I don't know why. Even when Vieira came, just his small cameo he made for them, how many games?
Difficult, yeah.
It felt like that was the worst, like it was choking. So for me, yes, I want to see them do what they are known for, but I need the point. And there's something I want to drop here. Yesterday, it showed me something. It showed me that even in that whole one goal that we got, it was our ability to hold it down. Because if it were last season, with all our fluidity and everything, we will lose that game.
Arsenal will break,
yes.
Yeah.
But the sub Mikel made, I mean, Drury said, some games that was how he put it, some games are something, but something is precious. More like, some games are wonderfully done, or a win is wonderful, but a win is precious. And we got that precious win for me. So moving on, I think we're going to play beautiful football.
And adding to what Chioma has said, I saw a team yesterday that seemed to relish playing defense more than playing possession football, right? The speed with which we switched to a low block after that red card surprised me negatively, actually terrified me initially. But again, after thinking about it, I'm like, okay, these guys actually are starting to enjoy playing defense. A team that enjoys playing defense will easily switch to defense when they need it to win a game.
City does
right?
it.
Yes, exactly. That's my point. That's why these guys are serial winners. They've learned to enjoy playing defense. So
yeah,
when we saw that the situation that required playing defense, we switched to that mode immediately. It became a siege mentality. And then from then on, it was more about defensive changes. And the people that came in knew exactly what they were supposed to do to help us win. Gabriel, I saw the commentator comment. There was a defensive move that Gabriel did, and everybody came to celebrate with him. And Gabriel pumped his fist and all that. The commentator said he's celebrating as if he's won the game. I was that made me happy. Yeah. So if our team will relish in playing defense, then we are in for something good this season, because when it matters, they will do what they need to do to defend that goal.
Yeah, for me, based on what you said about how they immediately switch to a defensive low block, what I thought I felt that happened there was, obviously during the week they were prepared and had their drills about this game. I don't think Arsenal would have prepared for a game to turn on its head like this, for us, and how to react. And unfortunately for us, we lost a defender. So obviously Martinelli dropped in that hole, and all of a sudden the And this shows that Arteta coaches these boys. So the time was short for them to get the instruction on what next to do. So what they did was naturally, let's protect what we have, which supports what you're saying. The Arsenal we used to know before, we think we'll keep playing. We'll keep playing, we'll get more goals. But this one, they naturally said, you know what? Let's protect what we have until we get instruction from the manager on how to set up. And that lasted for, and again, it also showed that our players respected Crystal Palace because they have some technical players in that team. They have technicians in that team. So if you don't sit up and take care of business, these guys will hurt you right quick. And if we had considered a goal at that moment, I'm sure, like Choma said, it would have been difficult for us to even get a draw from that match. So I think that was a natural reaction for the boys to say, you know what, let's protect what we have while we wait for instruction from the manager. Then secondly, talking about the fluidity, like you guys were saying, what I think we have lost something because of the changes that Teta has made in our lineup. Why do I say that? When we have Zinchenko or Gabriel in our lineup, there are some line-breaking passes that they do, angle passes they do as left footers from behind that helps us build our attack, that helps people like Martinelli find themselves in positions where they can easily hurt opponent. But not having these two guys has denied us now those aspects of our game. Because if you have a right footer on that side, most of the time, predominantly, they have to get the ball inside the field and pass make diagonal passes as against a left footer making those passes. So I don't know if Arteta, like he has told us, that he makes his lineup based on what the team requires. I want to trust that, but I also believe that we are losing something by not playing Gabriel. Of course, we know that Zinchenko's issue is basically because he was injured, and I expect to see him by the time we have our next game against Fulham next weekend. So that's my own little criticism about Arteta, about the lineup based on what I see. I think he should probably find a way, because when he arrived, we didn't have any left-footed center back, and he made so much noise about having left-footed center backs on that side. Now we have Kivio and we have Gabriel. Both of them we are fit. And he didn't start except he's using this early stage of the season to try out a lot of things, so that in case situations arise in future during the season, that we can find ways to adjust and to start to do it that time. Other than that, I think that we are missing something in the way we play and some good aspect of our play without using left-footed center back. So, but that's my criticism about that.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
It's okay to criticize, but let's get the criticism and get our 3 points rather than use left-footed center back and lose. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. And then another area of concern for me in the last 2 games, even a little bit during the preseason as well, is Saka and Martinelli. By their own standards, I don't think they have delivered performances that we saw most of last season. I don't know if you guys.
Game 2.
I know,
out of 32.
I know, but still, we have to talk about it.
They will still do draw and give us. We know their names.
Yeah.
I think
exactly. That thing you mentioned is one thing I forgot to mention as well. It's possible also because last season, one of the things, apart from squad depth, one of the reasons people that was talked about that made us now lose the championship last season was that probably the guys burned out. So they're not starting the season in that electrifying manner this season so to conserve energy, because it's going to be a long season. So maybe that's what it is, but we'll still have to talk about it. Martinelli and Saka, we are giving us 7/8, 8/8, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, 10/10 performances all through last season towards the end.
I think no, but I also think that the team is playing differently.
Yeah.
Two factors are involved. The team is playing differently in the way that we build up. And so it's not, the ball isn't getting to them as early as it used to get to them, and in positions that it used to get to them. Shaka, again, when you lose a warrior and a technically gifted player, excellent passer like Shaka, you're bound to miss something, right? Havertz is no Shaka in passing, not even anywhere close, right?
No,
Though
it's
Havertz
not.
has his own, yeah, though Havertz has his own qualities. So it's going to take a while to build that partnership again. Shaka supplied, if we check it, we'll see that he supplied a lot of passes to both Martinelli and Shaka and the Saka. Help them get free most times. Now Shaka is not there anymore. We're playing a bit differently. That's one factor. Second factor is that we surprised people. Martinelli and Saka surprised people a lot last season. Teams have now sat down and figured how to double team those two guys.
Them, yeah.
Right? They are double teamed every game. They are teams prepare specially for those two boys every game, more so than our center forwards. They don't even pay enough attention to the likes of Nketiah and Jesus. The attention is centered on those two wingers because of how effective that they are, and Martin Odegaard. So the opponents are now prepare more for our boys. Then the third reason. Oh my God, I had this reason in my head now.
Sorry,
it's coming back.
Anyway, it will come.
Chama, what's your reason? What do you think is happening to Martinelli and Saka?
I don't, me, I don't think anything is wrong with them. I don't think anything is wrong with them. Last season, these boys, they were mind-blowing. They came, they saw and conquered. They were beautiful. Just like Ugo mentioned. See, there's a new Arsenal coming up, okay? By next season, we should be able to boast about having a Team A, Team B, and even Team C before we think about the Academy boys. Okay, because now we can see that Mikel has new weapons in his arsenal he would want to test out. We have too many competitions. We have many games to play. And there's one point I have in my head is integration. There's going to be a lot of integration moving forward. Because you have players in Arsenal that can do things that, those kind of things we saw in Beckham them days, all these big guys, Vieira, boys that are very multifaceted. I'm serious. Quote me. Kai gives me that vibe. He gives me that vibe.
I know he's your boy. I know Kai is your boy. We're going to come to that.
He plays lost. He plays lost. Like, I don't want to be too harsh on Chelsea and everything they represent. They're a wonderful club. He plays lost for somebody with that great personality.
Yeah,
some people don't want to talk about it. You see him getting into very impossible angles. How he finds himself there, I don't know. What makes him think you can find him there? What is he doing at some wings when you see him in the middle of two defenders? He's trying to cross a ball. What is he trying to do? Me, I know that guy is playing lost because of coaching, management. I don't know what happened to him over there. So there's going to be a lot of integration happening on that team. See, Martinelli and Saka, quote me, save this video. You see Champions League. They will hear from us. They are here to ring.
I believe so too. Yeah, for me, I think two things from my own point of view that I think that is making them a little bit quiet so far in this season is, let's not forget the partnerships we had, like we mentioned about Xhaka. But on the right side, Saka, you all through last season played most of the time with Ben White. Him and Ben White struck a partnership that hurt a lot of teams. The way they passes and positions and stuff like that. Ben White knew when to use diagonal run to distract the defender and present Saka with a situation to hurt teams. Even if you remember very well, the goal he scored at Nottingham Forest, it was a partnership between him and combination between him and Ben White that got us that goal. So apparently now playing behind him and more inverted, obviously puts him more as an islander. and there's too much space for him to cover to make things happen. But apparently, that's one of the reasons. You go on the left side, like you mentioned, Xhaka is not there to partner with Martinelli that they did last season. Again, Zinchenko as well has been absent, who also has played with him most of the last season. So I believe probably because of lack of familiar partnership behind them, it probably has, affected their
I
productivity.
just thought about something very funny now. Something in
Mm.
my head just popped up. Sorry, Reggie.
Mhm.
You see that Nottingham Forest game? They literally bought Aina for Shaka. Quote me. Aina. No, for reals.
yeah,
See,
the guy was really on his
teams, just
case.
like Ugu mentioned, teams are buying people. Did you see Ayu yesterday? Did you see Ayu? Ayu that is
Yeah,
supposed to be concerned about putting balls in the distance. Ayu devoted himself to mark people. Mark Shaka. There's nothing else he wants to do.
yeah, I
Did
think
you
you're
see
right.
Edward that is supposed to also be Edward? Everybody were like, Martinelli will come here, they will follow him. You have two men on how? What are their sizes and what is their age?
Yeah, it's
So
true
I
though.
think teams are buying people to mark these boys now. So they need to be wiser.
Yeah, another thing too, and I also observed is, they did very well last season. I can see it in Saka's eyes. I can see Martinelli. I think they're a little bit more eager to deliver. They're a little bit impatient with themselves. And I think I've seen Saka whinge a couple of times, not maybe to himself that he didn't get something right. I think they need to relax and know that, like what you guys have said is true, and understand that players now and teams are going to come to games just to nullify you. So if you're not patient, you're going to rush into decisions that will make you be a little bit apprehensive in a game, and that will obstruct your flow. So that again is a job for the coach to work on that. Sometimes we watch Liverpool play a game. Salah is almost not there for 20, 30 minutes. But all of a sudden, from nowhere, he will just spring up and get explosive for like another 30 minutes and decide the game. So Martinelli and Saka, for me, need to get that sense of maturity and understand that sometimes you don't have to push it too hard. Sometimes if there is nothing, just stay in the game and wait for those moments to decide games. So that's my own thought about the both of them. I don't know if you have anything to add, or should we move on to something else?
Yeah, we can move on to something else.
Yeah,
Do you intend to talk about the penalty that the guy
yeah,
saw, or
yeah.
can I say something about it?
I'm going to get to the ref because we can't have this show.
Not necessarily the decision, just the actual penalty, taking itself.
Yeah. Of course, of course. Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is Ramsdale. Arsenal has gone out and signed the Viraya. There's so much talk about him coming in, probably going to become the number one for Arsenal. What do you guys make of Ramsdale's performance yesterday? For me personally, he had a good performance, especially with shot stopping, positioning, and his presence in the box. But I still have issues with his ball to feet. I don't know if that's the reason why Teta signed the Viraya. And it's a kind of surprise for me because I felt that Ramsdale is one of the best goalkeepers in the league with ball to his feet, but he's been shaky since towards the end of last season, preseason, and up until now. I don't know if you guys agree with me, or did you see something different for what I'm talking about?
I don't I don't see anything wrong with Ramsdale's kicking. Yes, he's been a bit shakier than usual this season, I would say, but honestly, I don't think he's been that bad. I don't think he's been that bad at all. Yesterday, he barely got so much involved with kicking the ball to say that it became a problem. But I know that there will be pressure with Raya breathing down his neck. But really, I'm good with Ramsdale. With his kicking so far, I think he's a fighter. And he's going to take whatever it would take to get that jersey off him because he's going to give every ounce of his strength. He's fought all his life. He's not going to stop now. So I have no worries. I think where I go with him is maybe delaying his touch by maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and a striker might take advantage of it one of these days with heavy pressing. As far as every other thing, and then it seems like his long kicks are a bit off now, but I think it will come back. I have no worries.
Yeah, exactly. Just to hold it right there, what you just mentioned. Now, my worry is even more that he's going long too often than he used to go. Almost every kick now, and it shows some kind of panicky in his.
No, I think that's by instruction, because he's always aiming at Havertz. I think that is absolutely by instruction, not that he chooses to do that. Of course, if it's not by instruction, you will know that Ateta will not find it funny. But the manager doesn't have a problem with that from his body language. So,
Okay, I think you're
yeah.
right. I've been thinking about it myself. And like, what's going on with Ramsey? He almost
Mm,
wants to kick every ball long. And I think
mm.
you're right because Arteta has also mentioned it in some of his press conferences about Kai Havertz when he was asked. He said, yeah, he's going to bring some different dimensions to the way we play and helping us to hold up play up the pitch. So I think you're right on that. Yesterday, I don't know. What were you most impressed about, and which player? Okay, well, you already said the DECLAN. I don't think we will have to repeat that. But what impressed you most about the game yesterday? The way the team played, or what aspect of the game was more most impressive to you that you really valued most in the 3 points that we got?
What impressed me the most was the siege mentality, right? I
Mm-hmm.
thought the team fought and fought and fought, you know. And I know how I usually feel when this kind of things happen. I felt just a tinge of worry when Tomiyasu got that red card. But then generally, I was calm, right? I know how I struggle with anxiety in those kind of circumstances. I was a bit scared, I was worried, but honestly, I wasn't overly concerned when when we withdrew. I didn't like it, but I wasn't too worried. I thought we played, very, very brilliantly in defense. Everybody participated in it. And the reason I wanted to reference the penalty kick by Odegaard was the reaction after that he scored that goal.
Mm-hmm.
The first person to come and give him a hug was
Saka.
Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka was supposed to take penalties normally. And when they asked Ateta, I know some people have said, some pundits and analysts have said that there's no way Ateta is a control freak. There's no way Ateta would have
Not to
given
giving that instruction.
would have allowed the players to decide for themselves who would take a penalty. But I want to believe that he actually, Ateta would give you a remit, give you a mandate, and give you the authority to make it work. I think that he allowed them choose, and it was Asaka's choice to allow Odegaard to take the penalty, and Odegaard took it, scored it. Again, another point I want to stress is preparation. Odegaard, he was asked, said he had taken lots of penalties in preseason.
And didn't miss anyone. He's
Yeah,
practiced a
he
lot.
didn't miss anyone, right? And so you know how these things work. If you've done it and done it and done it and done it under match circumstances, because you've done it, you know what to do, right? That's why the people that score penalties tend to score them a lot, right? So, um, I'm happy with the preparation. I'm happy with the leadership shown by both Saka and Odegaard. Odegaard had the captain's band, but he had to ask
Yeah, he said
the
he asked
penalty
Saka.
taker.
He asked him
Yeah,
if he can take
yeah,
it.
he could have pulled the seniority and said, "I'm the captain, I must take it." But
Yeah.
he asked that guy, and the reaction shows you that what he said is true. Because if Saka was upset with Odegaard taking that penalty, he wouldn't have been the first person to run to him to congratulate him. Yeah, so some of these things that we see, if you properly look at them, you see some solid team spirit building. For me, that win yesterday was all about team spirit, and that's what I found most impressive about the win.
Yeah, people have said stuff. I've been hearing a lot of comments on social media online about that penalty that apparently, if you look at it too, when we play soccer, sometimes there are some communications that go between players that even the next player there will not hear. There are some things that you tell your teammate, or signs or things that you say. I want to suspect that probably one of the Arsenal players has seen the tension on Saka and told Odegaard, don't you think you should go and take this penalty? And for Saka
That's
to easily and willingly release that ball as soon as he was asked, says two things. Like you said, the team spirit, and maybe, yes, he was under immense pressure. He wasn't sure of himself. So once that leeway came, he was glad to move the responsibility to the captain. Okay, yeah, go ahead. After I've missed a couple, I did a couple last season. So I like what I saw. And the most impressive part of this whole scenario was the ease at which Odegaard dispatched that penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Because if all that happened and he missed it, nobody will say it was an agreement. They will say they fought over it and he missed. The ease the guy used despite that penalty and got that goal made everything beautiful. Like, let me borrow Choma's words. He made it look very beautiful, and I was so impressed as it all ended. Choma, what was your impression about that scenario?
I saw everything everybody was saying, what happened. And this guy stayed about 6 minutes, Owen and his people in the studio talking about it after the game, how Odegaard hadn't taken penalties, maybe he took a few during preseason or whatever, but he hadn't taken, and now he's taking a penalty. I saw something that happened. And I think you and I were talking about maybe the goalkeeper had watched a lot of Saka's moves during penalties and would have been ready. And probably the boys were like, okay, you know what? Let's give him something different, something he has never seen. And for me, from my own understanding as a girl, I think penalties, sometimes your body language can give you away. So I think body language actually wins you a good penalty. That penalty, it gladdens my heart because the keeper couldn't have.
I don't think, like you said, I think you're right. I don't think the keeper was ready to face Odegaard. He was mentally ready to face Saka. Immediately Odegaard showed up, the guy just like, whatever.
Of course, but he did not know that this guy was going to, give him something else. So I felt it was a great penalty. I loved what it. So
okay, so having seen us now for the past these last two games,
please, can I mention one more thing that impressed me just very fast? Was our quick free kick taking. You see, this is one of the things that we do where we play on Saturdays, right? If a team is in sync and concentrated, this is Reggie, I know you. This is one of your pet peeves. One of your pet peeves is when you consider a free kick and your guys are just still, arguing or doing other things instead of being smart enough to defend that free kick before the other team takes it. Right?
I get mad.
Yeah. So at the EPL level, you saw Crystal Palace make the same mistake twice. Two free kicks Arsenal got, they were still hanging around. We took quick free kicks. So yeah, it showed me that the team is quite intense. They're really concentrated. They're focused.
They're drilled. And we even considered, I think, a yellow card because of we stopping them from taking a quick kick again, which means, like you said, these things have been doing to the team. So having seen these two games, from what you have seen, which players do you think are going to be very key? I know we have a collection of players now that everybody's giving their best, but which two or three players do you think, if they are not consistently available and performing at the level they are performing, they're going to be performing, that's now is going to suffer?
Okay, Choma, go on.
Yeah, Choma, go ahead.
Thomas Partey. I mean, we all know this anyway, or else somebody wants to say something else. I always have this breath of calm when he's playing.
He's on the ball, yeah.
Is he bosses, and I can tell that the likes of Rice and others are learning off him, the way he bosses, his body language, the way he shares the ball. There's something the boys call it true pass. When you send somebody a pass and he hits the person's leg, bam, just like that. I mean, if I come and I'm sitting down, I don't sit over Pate, my chest will fly. And another person, of course, Saka. I don't know how to stay calm when he's not playing. I've never witnessed that. The whole of last season he was there. So, and then, Saka, Martinelli, I would want to attach a fourth in there, Zinchenko, with the winning mentality. You saw what he did last season. He has that whole, we can do this, even if we're fainting, let's do this, a classic Tini. When you're watching Tini, sometimes when they do highlights, you always see him making some commands in the air, like telling people, Zinchenko has that. So if I'm allowed to give a thought, I think if I don't see these four persons in a game, I will just
you will not be confident. Give us your three. I know there should be more than that, but just if you are to ask, okay, who are these three key players that you want to see in every game for Arsenal, fully fit and firing?
Choma said my number one, and my number one is our number one, Thomas Partey. Partey is so important. And the reason I say I deem him indispensable is the way we played last season, he was crucial. The way we are playing this season so far, he is still crucial. Yeah. So no matter the way we play, no matter the pattern, the formation, he is, the manager can trust him to execute, right? So yes, he's that important. Second would be William Saliba. William Saliba, with the way that he showed his recovery rate yesterday, the guy can recover even after mistakes. He has the pace, he has the timing. That tackle that he made on IU could have easily gone the other way.
£1 million.
So yes, he is extremely important to us. And then Bukayo Saka. And this is just to mention a few. My answer to your question would have been the word team. I think that every member of that team has been very important this season so far. But if I'm forced to mention three, I would mention these three.
Yeah, for me, my number one is William Saliba, because
what was I even thinking?
when he's in the team, Arsenal plays the way we want to play, which is having a high defensive line. He helps us a lot to confidently box opponents into their own box because of his pace, his ability to read games, and his ability, his ability to defend one-on-one, no matter how skillful a player is, no matter how fast an attacker is. Saliba on him, you're confident. Yeah, it's not as if he's perfect, but he gives us that confidence and that platform to play the way we want to play, the way we want to play. Of course, Thomas Partey as well. I love Partey so much, and I believe by the time Zinchenko comes back, he's going to come back to the central midfield. That's where I want to see him. I want to see him in front of our defense. Once I see Partey there, I'm confident, because another thing with him is, like Choma mentioned, it doesn't just defend, doesn't just shield our defense. He also helps us to start attacks. He makes the job of people like Odegaard easier, because they don't have to run around too much. He knows where to drop the passes. He knows when to step in to break play, to deny opponent opportunity to get to our defense. So he's the second one. Then my last one, of course, it's going to be between Saka and Martinelli. I don't know which one of them to choose. So either of them, once I have either of them on the pitch, at least I'll have the hope that we're going to be able to hurt our opponents going forward. So these three key players for me are very key in what we're doing. And the ability for us now to have them almost every time on the pitch is going to determine how successful we're going to be this season, in my own opinion. So let's look at the referees and these new rules. And I don't know why is most of the time is always Arsenal. The referee yesterday, I don't, I tried personally not to make it an Arsenal problem, but it looked like the referee came with an agenda. Let's I would say, okay, he made a mistake with Tomiyasu, but just less than 5 minutes after that incident, Ayu even committed a more obvious drawback. And all we saw was just a foul given, no warning, no yellow card. You're a referee. They always say, when you go on a job, they give you policies. But there's something that employers always ask for, any employee, ability to use your initiative. Everything is not black and white. You just get Tomiyasu a yellow card maybe 5 minutes ago. Then he had that infringement. A reasonable referee, for me, should have called him after the second one. Hey, you're in yellow. Not anything again from you, you're done. But this guy he wasn't even a foul in the first place. It wasn't even a foul. Then he gave him a yellow. As a referee, how do you react to the performance of the referee yesterday?
That referee, I know I've watched, he's always a homer. There are referees that I call homers, meaning that whoever is playing at home has an advantage with them. They are not strong enough to, go against the vein or go against the crowd with all the shouting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That guy always trembles as if he's always under pressure. And so I wasn't surprised when he started making those kind of calls that he made. You hit the nail on the head. It should have come with a warning. And the funny thing was that Tomiyasu, that ended up getting a yellow card for that delay in throwing, only had the ball for 8 seconds. Prior to that, Partey had the ball and then gave to Kai Havertz, and then handed over to him. So it was more of a team foul in terms of the delay. And here it was about 23 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right? When people have done that, and given to one person, you don't make one person a victim. You can do a warning or call the captain and say, hey, your team, any other attempt to do this, that's what I would do. Your team, if anybody wastes time in your team again, I'm issuing a yellow card. You set that tone, and then you take it from there. But he was quick to give Tomiyasu a yellow card. And when you've done that, you've already boxed yourself into a corner. The next thing was to find another quick yellow card, and the guy was off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he should have come with a warning first. And then, and then the calls were, again, one-sided. It's just unfortunate. The EPL, I don't know what they're doing about refereeing.
Really
I'm encouraged that I'm seeing new faces, at least. It's not the same Atkinsons that have been refereeing for 14, 20 years, right? The same guys set in their ways,
making the same
still
mistakes.
running. So,
it's about them are in the VAR room.
Yeah, you see, a game of young people with new faces coming on. You see the same old faces refereeing it. Now it's good to at least see some young people getting involved and becoming referees. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, to round up, Chama, let me ask you this question, then we'll round up. I think we'll spend some time. I know you guys have things to do. I was reflecting about something today. City, their first game, they won 3-1, but we know the kind of trouble that Burnley gave them. The second game against Newcastle, they won 1-0, just because of an ingenuity by Foden. They got that goal, and that was it. 6 points. Arsenal, the same thing. But you see, people are micro-analyzing Arsenal performance. It wasn't swift. It's not, they don't look like this is how they're going to win on City. Whereas everybody is giving City a pass for winning 1-0 to a Newcastle, who also played the way Crystal Palace played yesterday. And City only managed to score 1 goal. But in the case of Arsenal, the interpretation is the other way. What's your reaction to the? How do you feel about this negative, view about Arsenal performance with regards to that's against the way City is seen? People are quick to say City doesn't start good normally. That's the way they normally start, but they pick the season start. Why can't it be seen the same way with Arsenal? Arsenal, I mean, has the 6 points, maximum 6 points in 2 games. Why how do you see this negative outcry?
It's for me, it has become normal because I'm always talking football with boys and all of that. So I see that all these teams they try to vent their anger on Arsenal. Arsenal seems to be like that room where you
The
go to
punching
the
bag.
punching bag where you go to take out your frustration. Some of them are learning, they are practically learning football from Arsenal, actually. It's just that we can't give them a playbook. So I watched that game with Newcastle. I saw that game now. The same Philip Foden, they said a lot about him, how he's not equipped, how they should drop him, how all of that. I listened to all of them. When you listen to some of the fans talk, even some City fans say Philip is not up to it. Philip can't do that. If Philip was not in that game, I'm so sorry for them. Nothing would have happened for them now. That boy stretched himself. Did you see how he kept walking up balls to Haaland and he didn't even, if I don't want to talk about City to start with. He kept walking up ball to Haaland. He did a lot. But Haaland didn't get it. It was this guy out.
Haaland was quiet all through that game. That's another thing I would have loved to talk about. Maybe when we are previewing
He
the games.
ghosted.
If he was Edin Ketia, I'm sure they will talk about it for the next for 2 months.
For 2 games I've watched of City, Haaland has ghosted. But guess what? He's the what will I call him? The poster boy for the latest video game. So all the boys are sorted. They don't want to talk about it. But if it's Arsenal, everybody's coming. No, Kai Havertz ghosted. Oh, if Arsenal does this, oh no, it's nothing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready for everybody this season. And the negative vibes don't get to me. Why? Because I'm an Arsenal fan for a reason. Okay.
Exactly.
I've been taking punches now. I'm not them. They always wear chips on their shoulder. Okay. They don't want to talk about their own problems. So it doesn't even get to me. All I'm concerned about is, once the banter starts getting to the team, the real team I support,
Yeah.
if I start seeing their confidence getting messed up, if I start perceiving dressing room problem like Chelsea, those ones, they've been having it since who, Shevchenko. If I start perceiving things like that, that's when, I'll get, so it doesn't get to me. Are we going to always be getting people talking? Of course, see, if we're not playing beautiful football, they will not talk.
Yeah, exactly. That is
We're even
saying
having
that
this conversation.
if you're not doing anything good, people won't talk about you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm happy we're having this conversation because 3 seasons ago, nobody would even think that we were worth anything. But the whole of last season, they all sat down and found peace in their women football leagues when we were playing the games as boys. Men games, we were playing it with boys and boys were delivering. And now this is in a game. Okay, some of them went to go and buy the same players in the same position I bought. What are they getting? They're not getting anything.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
They're busy bewitching all the players they sold us, thinking that those guys are the problem. Or we want to talk about United.
I wish you were here yesterday. I wish you were here yesterday. They were all here. I was looking forward to having you on the show.
They were just lucky.
Please,
One day
yeah,
I'll stay
please.
away.
Yeah,
And
please.
I'll give them all their litanies of everything. I have it. I have their record. I'll play it one by one for everybody.
Thank you very much, guys. I really have enjoyed this show. Just wanted to have an in-depth analysis about the game yesterday. Thank you for coming. And before we go, let's remind our viewers, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so and like and share this video. I don't know what you guys. What's your going forward? What's your expectation about that? How do you see the team perform going forward? We have a game coming up this weekend, Fulham. Of course, I think Arsenal should be able to dispatch game maximum points on that one. What's your feeling? What are you feeling about the team going forward? With Zichenko coming back and probably the last two appearances of Gabriel from the bench probably would have earned him a record to starting 11. What do you expect to happen?
Um, hmm, I expect September is going to be a tough month. I believe we're going to face City, United, and Tottenham. I think,
Oh, no,
or is it Chelsea,
I think it's
United, and
not. I think
Tottenham?
it's in October.
Okay.
October?
Yeah, I think it's not. Those games
Yeah,
come in
October,
October. Yeah, I
September.
think so. Let's see.
I know that we face Fulham next, and then after that United, and I think Tottenham.
Yeah, September is we have the international window,
Yeah.
and after that, our next game will be Everton. Yeah, those games you're talking about are in October, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I expect us to keep taking one game at a time. I think we're still figuring out this new way of
Playing.
playing. I hope it will get better and get more fluid, and more so get more solid. The more solid we are, the better it is, because EPL is such a confidence league. If your opponents have confidence against you, they have a chance against you.
Yeah.
But if you,
It's not just games, even inside the game. If at any time
yes,
you show some level of
yes,
fragility in your brain, they just the
yes,
thing will
Use
just
yes.
it.
flip on its head,
So
by the way, and
yeah, you have to dominate, and when you dominate, take your chances
that's it.
and really put them away. Yeah. So I'm hoping we can get more goals. We're not scoring, we're not conceding, but hopefully we can score a bit more and keep our clean sheet ratio high. As at since the turn of the year, Ramsdale has kept the largest number of clean sheets in the EPL from January to date. So,
Yeah.
those are good signs. Let's keep going like that way, and then see where we are by the end of the year.
Okay,
Ah,
guys.
December, you guys.
Okay, guys. Thanks for coming and having sharing this time with us. I believe our fans have enjoyed or we enjoyed this one, and we look forward to having our pre-game show on Thursday for the weekend, looking at the games for the weekend. I hope to see you guys on the show. I'll let you know once that one is scheduled. And let's enjoy our week. And I wish you guys a successful week. I hope that we'll grab our 3 points again come on Saturday. Thank you for coming to the show. Choma, thanks a lot for the sacrifice. Ugum,
Thank
as
you.
always, solid.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
Choma,
Bye,
later.
Boom.
Yeah, bye.
Okay.
Yeah.